Hello. Happy Thursday. Let me show you my life right now. There's the Bapester. There's Tucker with his babies over there. You stretching out, bud? Aw, little Boo Radley. I'm my own person. Please leave me alone. I'm sleeping under the pillows. Look at Boo Radley sleeping underneath the pillows. Ah, Boo Radley. Hi, Pee-Pee. I think Pee-Pee doesn't feel good again. We're worried about him because he's kind of back to how he was feeling before. And, well, I need the doctor to call my ass back because he was feeling great as long as he was taking pain medication. But then as soon as the pain medication was over, he didn't feel great anymore. So I don't know what that's about. And, okay, Alex is having this open house thing where he works tonight. So I'm trying to find, here, I'll put this up here. I'm trying to find an outfit where, so I'm gonna wear these Joe's jeans, and then, you guys are gonna sit in Alex's shoe for a second. Look at the shoelaces falling down. You're gonna sit in Alex's shoe for just a second. What shirt should I wear? I think I'm gonna wear this one or my gray one, which I always wear. I literally always wear these two shirts when I go places, but they fit me so comfortably. There's my new flannel that I got that I haven't even worn yet. And then I'm gonna wear, oh, I need a pair of socks. What socks? Do I not have any cute socks? Alex, like, steals all of my cute socks. Like, he gives me happy socks, and then he takes them. And I'm like, you took my cute socks. Why did you do that? Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Just a second, you guys. I'm coming back up, I swear. Well, if I have to wear those, I will. I think I'm going to steal these gray socks of Alex's since he stole some socks from me. Gray socks. So, these shirts, plus this jeans. So, these jeans with one of these shirts. These gray socks, and then I'm gonna wear them with my new Sperry's that I got. These Oxford Sperry's, can you see? So cute. They're kind of a summery shoe, but I don't really care. I'm wearing them tonight. Partly because they make me feel so tall. So yeah, so I'm going to get ready now. Look at my crazy hair. I'm gonna take a shower and get dressed, and I will see you guys in a little while. Hello. I've been driving around listening to my audiobook. I'm trying to get 2 more books in before the end of November. I look so bad tonight because I laid down for a little bit. So I went to Alex's open house thing, which was very nice. And then I came home and I did a live stream for 2.5 hours. I'm going to do a really long live stream. If you're watching this on Thursday, tonight I'm going to do a really long live stream too. So come and check it out. And yeah. So be there. I'm giving away cheapo boxes, Christmas cheapo boxes. I'm doing giveaways on my channel, so that'll be real fun. It's been a crazy day. I was like so busy today with work and writing, and it was interesting because I guested Teresa, who I've known forever, and she was actually a patient of mine back in the day. She's told this story before, and so she actually told it, I think, on this vlog, and she's the one that took me out to lunch this summer. But she said she had a question for me. And so she was like, do you remember the name of the book that you were writing when you worked in treatment? Which I did. It was called Surrender to Technicolor. And so she thought I would forget it. Well, I haven't. I've written like 75 pages of it. And so I went and I pulled down my folder of like, I think 3 or 4 different books that I started working on like 10 years ago and never finished. And one was like, well, one was that one. And then one was like a memoir of like me being in treatment. Like the day before I went into treatment and then going into treatment. It's called Pretty Drinker. And which is the book I was going to write about me and my mom. And I have like 100 pages typed and written of that. And then this other one that I was going to write. And so I was reading some of the writing on my YouNow stream, and people really seem to like it. I love writing and telling stories so much. It's one of my favorite things, you know, and it's like, honestly, probably why I love like driving around at night and talking on here is because I just get to tell all of my stories, you know, and nobody's like, okay, we've heard that one before. I mean, maybe you guys are saying that from your living rooms or bedrooms or cars or whatever, but I don't know. It's like I can tell all kinds of stories, you know. And this book that I was writing back then is about this kid, and he's selectively mute, and when he was when he was like 5, his mother shot his father, and then she left, and so he went in and out of foster care. And when the book starts, he's in this like basically this state school for adolescents with drug and alcohol problems, because he's like this severe alcoholic. And he meets this guy that is straight who becomes his roommate. And then they meet this, and his name is Alex, interestingly enough. I named him Alex. And you know what's so weird about that is that I wrote the book before I'd ever even met my husband, years before. And then they meet this girl. She comes in the unit, and her name is Monday. Her mom named her after the Carpenter song Rainy Days and Mondays. And the 3 of them concoct this plan to leave treatment, and they do, and then like they go on this road trip, and they meet like 3 different characters. The whole thing is done to the backdrop of The Wizard of Oz, because The Wizard of Oz, the movie, was playing the night the kid's parents were shot. So he kind of lives in this fantasy world where everything is very much like The Wizard of Oz. And it's so weird going back and reading it, you know, like, and like, this is like really arrogant to say, but it's like good. Like, it was really good. Like, I don't know why I stopped writing it. And it was when I was with my ex, and you know, like, it's interesting because my ex, I can remember like writing pages and then handing them to him and having him read them, and he would be like, oh, I don't think this works, or I think this works, or whatever, you know? It just seems like such a different, like, it seems like a different life. Like, it doesn't even seem like I was the same person then. Like, I remember I had this like kitchen table, dining room table. It was like this wood table, and we painted these chairs red because we wanted them to be like really festive. And then I would sit at that kitchen table and I would write my books on this old Dell computer that I had. Isn't it strange that like right now, at this moment in your life, you have no idea how profoundly different your life could be 5 or 10 years from now? I mean, that was like 10 years ago, December 7th. I'm like thinking of the year. Yeah, 10 years ago, December 7th was the day that my ex and I broke up. I don't know how I remember that day, except for it was the day after his Christmas party. And Alex's Christmas party is next weekend, which is always a fun time. I like going to Christmas parties. I think it's fun. I like to get dressed up and stuff. You guys didn't get to see me dressed up tonight. I wore my new Sperry shoes and these jeans cuffed up real high, and I've been slacking so much of my reading, and like reading that tonight, like it was really a gift from Teresa, because that she brought that up, because it made me really start thinking a lot about like the books that I used to write and how much I missed being in those stories, you know, and creating characters and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually listening to this book right now. It's called Autobiography by Christina somebody, and it's about this kid, and he's Jewish and he's bisexual, and he falls in love with this guy that's like his like teaching assistant for this writing seminar, and the kid is LDS, Mormon, like Latter-day Saints. It's really interesting, and their whole perception of homosexuality and how they deal with it. The whole book is very, very interesting. I thought I had like this direct track of like what I wanted to write next, and now finding these old books, especially like the memoir of like, I have to read more of it, but like I was reading it tonight online, and I was like, this was really not that bad. Like this was really pretty good. And it was weird too. It kind of took me back. I always get very like reflective, not just on where I was when I was using, but like just of my life period. Like the last 2 to 3 weeks before my sobriety date, which is December 17th, so it's coming up. I always like, I don't know, it was like, it's very much a I was thinking about this today, it's very much like a rebirth. I went and, my friend Krista and I, we went and saw this like palm reader that was supposed to be really well known, and it was at this like psychic conference, the Pyramid of Enlightenment or something. And we got our palms read, and I'll never forget this, like, this palm reader, like, grabbed my hand, and she was like, she, like, looked at it, and then she, like, grabbed it, and she's like, I've never seen this before. And I was like, what? And she's like, I've never seen this before. And she's like, your lifeline splits in half. And she was like, it's like you died and then you came back. And she's like, the only time I've ever seen that is with 2 other people, and they had near-death experience, and one of them got sober. And that was before I got sober, and I'll never forget that. Like, she grabbed my hand. We were sitting there. It was like the weirdest thing. She told Krista that she would get a yellow pickup truck too, which was so random. We both at the time were like, what? And then later, Krista's brother sold I think it was her brother sold it to her, but she had a yellow pickup truck, bright yellow pickup truck. It was crazy. I don't know if I believe in palm readers, but it was very much for me like a rebirth, you know? And then I look back on that and I think about who I was, you know, 23 years ago, and who I am today, and who I was at 10 years ago and 16 years ago. And, you know, it's, I don't know how to explain it when you have these periods of sobriety that are like, not just like New Year's or like a birthday. It's like, you really think about who you were and who you are now, and you like reflect upon it as far as like changing your life, you know, and like, where do I want to go next? Who do I want to be next? And there are these paramount questions that you start asking yourself. And, you know, every year on my sobriety birthday, I always do that. I always look at my life and I think to myself, like, who would I have been, or where would I be now? Or now that I've been given this gift of life and sobriety, like, what are you going to do with it? Like, you know, what are you going to do that's powerful with it? And I have, like, this year been more involved in my sobriety than I have, like, the last 10 years. And it's been a really good year. I've met so many new people in sobriety and done a lot of service, and it's just been a really good sober year. And I mean, every year sober is a good year, but it's been a really good sober year as far as like me getting involved. And I don't know, like, if you're sober and you're out there, my suggestion to be, well, first of all, my suggestion to you would be go to a 12-step program, because it's life-changing if you're not already. And to be really honest, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but I consider sobriety working a program. So just so I can make that clear for the people out there that are working 12-step programs, they'll know what I mean. Like, I do not consider somebody that just stops using drugs and alcohol sober. I consider them dry. And I know that that will be offensive to some people out there, and I apologize. I think putting drugs and alcohol down and not using is phenomenal. I think it is life-changing. But I also think that it leaves an emptiness inside of us that we need to work on through other things, other issues, resentment, anger, trust, things like that. And that's what a 12-step program does for us. It helps us live again and clean up the wreckage of our past and find a higher power and all that kind of stuff, you know? And no matter what, the higher power could be the wind, you know, or whatever. But I think, like, that's when you truly are invested. And, you know, for so many years, I just had a seat in the room of 12-step meetings. Like, I didn't put my hand out and meet people. I didn't introduce myself to people. I never did service. And by service, I mean sitting on service committees, chairing meetings, secretarying meetings, hosting meetings, shaking people's doors, or shaking people's hands. You know, I make a real point of when I go to meetings now of, like, going around a room and shaking people's hands and introducing myself, because it's my way of, you know, meeting new people. And now I've known, like, I mean, in the last year, I've probably met 200 people, 100 people that are new, that now when I go all over the city, I see people all the time that are sober. It's fantastic, you know, and you realize that you're not so alone in this. And so if you're in early sobriety, or even if you're not and you've never done it, put your hand out, introduce yourself to people, get phone numbers, call them, ask them, you know, we're all in this together. So it's been a great year. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she was like, so what are you going to do at the end of the year? Are you going to, like, keep blogging or vlogging? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, you know, like, I don't make a lot of money off of it anyway, like, on AdSense, but, like, even if I didn't make a cent, the comments that I've gotten back from you guys about, like, things that you see in my life that I haven't seen, I mean, I record it, but I don't see it, or I don't hear it, you know, has really just been so awesome. And, you know, like, I think that people, the true Wolfpackers, are over here. I really do believe that. And, you know, and I know most of you don't watch every vlog I put, but some of you watch every vlog I put out. And I just have to say to you out there, whether you've ever commented on a video of mine or not, and you've kept up for a year now or 6 months or whatever, like, thank you so much for being part of my life. That's awesome. You know, but for me to be able to go back, and I, like, was looking at a video of Alex and I in Mexico the other day, and, you know, just, it's so awesome to, like, be able to have that video diary, that video memory of my life, and, you know, just see what I was thinking of that night or that day. And, you know, it's really interesting. Like, for years now, I've wanted to write a daily meditation book where I would just randomly pick a quote out, like January 1st, and I thought, if I did that every day, which would take me, what, 10 minutes a day to, like, pick a quote and then write what I thought about it, if I did that every day for a year, at the end of the year, I would have a meditation book that I could get published, right? Because I love little meditation books, and I've been thinking about that. But I've also thought how wonderful it would be to have some kind of diary for a year, because I love journaling, but I'm not very good at it. And what I mean by not very, very good at it is I just don't stay committed. And I've done it. Like, I've done it. Like, I cannot believe it. I can remember, when I started this, I was like, we'll see how long this lasts. I have not missed a day, not one day, this entire year. Now, I think I deleted by accident one day that's out there, but it was up. So I haven't missed one day in 2017, and it's awesome. And you know what? As far as the 12 steps saying we live one day at a time, like, it's really made me focus on each day. And very much like Doogie Howser, if you guys ever watch that show back in the end of the, you know, with what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, Neil Patrick Harris. he was a doctor when he was a kid, but at the end of every show, he would like type up this little diary entry about like what had happened and what he had learned. And you know, I always do my vlogs, or I do most of my vlogs at the end of the day. And it's just like fantastic time for me to look back on the day and see like what I learned, you know, today, like what was important to me, what happened. So for all of you out there, I mean, I know you don't want to start vlog channels, most of you, but like get a notebook and just start jotting. I mean, even if you just like, you know, write down my coffee, you know, I got coffee today at the Monn Coffee Shop. The Monn Coffee Shop coffee, it's called Choo Choo Blend, you know, or Alex's Open House, or, you know, like playing with Boo and Tucker, you know, or my 2.5 hour live stream where I read my books. If you just jot down things that you want to remember that happened for that day that were wonderful memories, that would be incredible, you know? One of the gifts that I gave my mom one time that she loved was I went, and this is actually a really good gift idea if you don't have a lot of money, because you can do it on a cheap little notebook that would cost you $1 at the dollar store, or I actually went and got her like this leather-bound book. It was about that big. And I can't remember what I titled it. I have it at home. I'll show you guys sometimes. But it was just a book of memories to my mom. And every page that you turned was like a blank sheet of paper, not lined, just blank. And I said something like, "This is our life." And so like you would turn it over and it would say like Laverne and Shirley. Things that she would only know, because like we used to play Laverne and Shirley, or it would turn it over and it would say like, you know, Benji, my first dog's name. And you turn it over and it would say like the street that I grew up on. And the next street it would say like, you know, watching Rear Window, eating peanut butter sandwiches. And you turn the next page. My mother, I will never forget when I gave it to her this one year for Christmas. I mean, I filled every page. She started bawling her eyes out, and she was like, "This is the most beautiful gift I've ever been given." And I don't even know how I thought of it, you know, but like, my cousin does the thing where like, you keep this thing in your kitchen and then like randomly you write in there like memories from this year that you loved, and then on New Year's Eve like she has this big party and she sits in a circle and she takes them out and reads them. I love stuff like that, you know. Well, you guys, listen, I want to finish my book and go home. I'm tired, and I've got a long day of writing ahead of me, so I'm going to get off here, and I will be back tomorrow. I promise you, longer vlogs are coming, so I have lots of Christmas things to talk about. We have lots of Christmas things to talk about. So, I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.